welcome to the Rod and Cindy podcast, live here in Phoenix, Arizona, in the backyard of Cookie's house. And my beautiful co-host here is
Cinderella.
Cinderella. I knew that was going to come. I just had that feeling that she's going to do the Cinderella thing.
Yeah, because I would like to share something with that. Is that okay?
Oh, sure.
All right.
That's okay.
Fantastic.
Happy Valentine's Day for you first. How's that?
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day to you and all you out there. Every day is Valentine's Day because you know why? Bottom line, it's about your heart. It's about love. It's about giving. It's about sharing. It's about all that beautiful, cute stuff.
The cute stuff.
The cute stuff.
Not the ugly stuff, just the cute stuff.
Yeah, the cute stuff.
Yeah.
The peace and love and granola bars.
Granola bars?
And Birkenstocks.
Oh, Birkenstocks and granola bars. That's awesome. Well, cheers to you on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, cheers to you. Thank
No,
you.
There you go.
There we go.
Yes. You have a story, you said?
I do. So real quick, I go to a philosophy class, an international philosophy class on Monday nights, and our teacher happened to bring up the Pandora's box. Do you know what's in the Pandora's box, Rod?
Besides air?
Besides air.
I'm going to guess. This is just a guess, but hope might be in the Pandora's box.
Hope. Wow. Is that a tangible hope, like female, or?
Yes. She was hiding in the box for a long time. She was contortionist, and she contortioned her body into this Pandora box.
Oh, my gosh.
And then when they open it up, it's like a jack in a box. Taboo!
Okay, that's funny.
All right, yeah.
All right.
You
Yes.
actually laughed at that
I
one.
did laugh. It was cute. That was funny. All right. So anyways, yes, you're right. Hope. That's what it's about. So he happened to talk about it or bring it up on Monday night. Well, when I came home that night, I was laying in bed researching some stuff, and all of a sudden the Psyche and Arrows picture and the story of Psyche and Arrows popped up on my phone. And I'm like, goodness sakes, where'd that come from? So I know, right?
Amazing.
Yeah. I'm thinking, well, how synchronistic is that? He talks about the Pandora's box, and guess what today is? What's it again?
Valentine's Day.
And so it's perfect because that's what Cupid is about, right?
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, we celebrate Cupid on this day and love, and that's what Psyche and Arrows is all about. However, Cinderella, Walt Disney's animated cartoon show or movie, is based on that. So Cinderella is about Psyche and Arrows. And if you have not ever seen or heard of Psyche and Arrows, I highly recommend that you Google that and read about them. It's fascinating. And Cupid's mom is Aphrodite.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So it's a fabulous story and lots of virtues, lots of meaning behind it. And anyway, so getting back to Cinderella, Cinderella is pretty much based off of that. So
You said it's got a lot of virtues.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by that?
Virtues are, things that are positive and negative, but they're things that we should work on, like tolerance or love or passion or anger or fear or what have you. Virtues are all kinds of different, words and things
I like
we work
that.
on.
That's good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, V for victory, V for Valentine's Day, V for Holy Grail.
And virtue and the Holy Grail and the
absolutely.
sacred feminine.
Sacred feminine. That's
My
what
favorite.
I know. That's what kind of reminds me of what the Valentine's about. Is it is a sacred feminine. It's really interesting. Is that it's part of who we are, and I don't know if it's something how I grew up, and you know this and everything else is that I think Valentine's Day is one of the best days to just let your loved one know how much you care about them, and like you gave me a box of chocolates, to show me how much you love me, and there's no chocolates inside of it.
It's like, OMG, what happened there?
Crazy. No, that's all right. But it's what it is I think it's actually for the virtue of the woman, and it's the Holy Grail. It's because the women are the Holy Grail. So I believe Valentine's Day should cater to a woman, and that I don't think the man needs the catering to like a female does. And so, they get the flowers, they get the chocolates, they get the wine that you have on the table here. You have all that, right? You have your chocolates, you have your wine, and
Yeah, I'm taking in my antioxidants right now. My dark chocolate and red wine. Heck yeah.
absolutely. What a great time, huh?
Exactly.
What a great time to be doing a podcast. It's overcast skies. It's been raining off and on all day today.
Finally, which Phoenix needed. Oh, my
Phoenix
goodness.
needed it really bad. I
She
know
was
driving
dry,
in here. Oh,
dry,
man.
dry. Like
Yeah.
the Sahara Desert.
Well, isn't Phoenix a desert area anyway?
It is.
I came out of, driving from Idaho all the way here because I had a few stops that I did. My last podcast you heard, I was in California and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So everything's wet on my drive. I get here and it's really dry. I'm giving everything a shock I touch. I mean, it's really interesting. It's that everything's shocking me and shocking everybody and that. So it's quite dry here.
It is. Several people have actually had like bloody noses.
Wow, that dry, huh?
Yeah, that dry, and allergies because there's a bunch of garbage in the air.
Yeah, it's really funny that you said the guy was blowing his nose in AJ's today. I was in there, and it's funny that this guy just was blowing it really hard. First of all, I don't believe you should be blowing your nose in public like that anyway. If it's going to be that loud, it was unbelievably loud, and he just it did. It sounded like he was honking the horn or something. He pulls it out and he looks at it after he blows his nose into the napkin. And he goes, "Oh my God, part of my brain is left in the napkin." This damn dry weather, So anyway.
Well, maybe it was a part of the brain that wasn't necessary.
Right.
We get rid of things that don't serve us anymore.
I went over there and I actually introduced myself to him and everything else because he just sounded like a guy that you'd want to party with. And that.
Right on.
And come to find out, no, that he wasn't the guy you really wanted to party with. He wanted to show me what was in his napkin.
Right on.
And then I don't know who came up and grabbed him and said, "Let's go." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, see ya. Bye, George." His name was George, by the way. What a great guy, though. But think about it, as he looked, he had this horrifying look on his face that part of his brain was left in the napkin.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so I'm Rod Lyman. This is Cindy Moody.
Yeah,
and
hello.
Bailey is right next to Cindy, and if you guys don't know who Bailey is Cindy's guard dog.
Totally.
Totally, dog. Cindy's guard dog. He thinks, Bailey. He thinks he is this big old junkyard dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he's wet? I think he's 4 pounds?
Maybe 5.5.
5.5 pounds? Okay, yeah.
Because he's getting a little chunky.
She calls him Buddha.
I do. He's my little Buddha bear. He's a
beautiful.
Blonde, long-haired chihuahua.
Yeah. He's very protective of mommy.
Very protective.
Always protective.
Yep.
So I've had such a wonderful trip to get here. We've done some wonderful stuff. We worked with Jeanette St. Germain doing a meditation. That was amazing meditation.
It was super cool. What a great concept she came up with.
Oh, I love that idea. It's like to bring in the divine, and have the male energy come in and anchor the feminine, which is then brought your female energy in, which is the Mary Magdalene energy. Then she brought in Sophia, which was the divine energy. And we just brought it all together. The crazy thing is that it was overpowering the male energy. But, after a while it became one, but it was very overpowering. Mm-hmm. This is amazing, though. I'd love to do that again. That was to feel that and watch that. That's amazing energy. We had a lot of fun. That was in Tempe at Jeanette St. Germain's place, which is Radiant Soul.
Yes.
In Tempe, Arizona. Beautiful place.
It really is, and she just matches it.
Oh gosh, yeah. So she started channeling. It was wonderful. We love it, and we're going to actually be back there again Friday, doing a question and answer on spiritual relationships, and I'm kind of excited about that. And so I thought I'd throw you a bunch of spiritual relationship questions at you right now. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, let's move on to the next subject.
So then I had a Blue Star class this weekend.
Yes.
That was beautiful. Amazing people came in for this class. First and foremost, you have to be either a Reiki 1 or 2 practitioner. And so I had these practitioners come in, and wow, blew me away. It was a 2-day intense course. We did level 1 on Saturday, and then we did the master on Sunday. People drove from, oh my gosh, this one lady, she drove from a long ways away. I don't even know, Queen Creek or something like that. I always say it wrong, so.
You said it right.
I said it right that time?
Yeah,
Good,
you
good.
did good. You did good.
So she drove all the way from there, and then there's another one from Altuque. I mean, they were all out of towners,
Yeah.
and blew them away. Blew them away. The energy that you come up with and what you take home with you, and home is the big word. What you take home with you, it turns your whole life around. It changes you instantly. I mean, Blue Star is amazing in its own right, and because it's using the Christ conscious energy in that. But it's not it's not just bringing the Christ conscious energy in. It's going to get information. It's going out there and getting it. And I love that. We go through the Alice Bailey stuff with it, how it goes through steps and everything. It's just an amazing, amazing thing. Then you got up there and you started talking about the 7 rays of light. And there's a part up there that I loved. I love every time you get up there and talk about
Thank you.
Colors and energy and stuff like that. But when you got up there and you drew this triangle, and it's the Trinity, and I saw something. We talked about it earlier, that I saw something in you when you brought it to everybody's attention, that it should be Mother, Son, and Holy Spirit. And explain that to me, why you believe it should be Mother, Son, and Holy Spirit instead of Father, Son, Holy Ghost.
Well, it's really quite interesting because when I was sharing it in class, it was in conjunction with the 7 rays and the logos and what have you. But as I had mentioned in class, is that, religion tells you it's, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost or Holy Spirit. And so for whatever reason, the last couple of days, I've been thinking about that. And it's like, wait a minute, maybe, because I've been on this huge feminine kick, and I love it. I have a passion for it. But anyways, before we get into that, I was thinking, it came to me, I'm like, well, maybe it should be Mother, Child, and Holy Spirit. Because, didn't Mother Mary wasn't she like an Immaculate Conception?
Oh, absolutely. She was a virgin.
Yeah, right, a virgin.
So no man was needed.
Yeah, so these beautiful avatars came from a mom who was, the Immaculate Conception, and it's like, okay, well, maybe it should be Mother, Child, and Holy Spirit. And even the other avatar, Siddhartha, Buddha.
Siddhartha, yeah.
Buddha, his mom, Maya, same thing. It was an elephant, but it's still of the higher spiritual realm, and the Spirit, the Holy Spirit. And so I'm thinking, wow, maybe instead of Father, Son, maybe it should be Mother, Child.
And I'm loving that, because that fits it so truly, what you said. I mean, there's so many Immaculate Conceptions out there that...
Yeah.
Absolutely. So this is, I think this may be a new movement for you, Sin.
You think?
Yeah. It's like kind of cool that you came up with that what a great Immaculate Conception.
Thank you.
You don't need a man.
Well, true, but my original thing when I was talking about that was because it was Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, was that it actually should be feminine, masculine, and the higher self.
Right.
But anyways, in the last couple of days, the other part came to me. I'm like, well, maybe we should change that.
Well, and that's interesting because in Blue Star, we talk about the Pleiadians and Ceres and that, and we said that there's no such thing as male or female within the Pleiadians and Ceres.
Right.
So to create the Christ conscious energy that we already observe and what comes to us, through the Great Bear, which is the Big Dipper or the bear in the sky, the tail of it. So, warming up there, are you? Good. So, anyway, there is no male or female energy. It's where we come from. It's our home. And it's interesting when we do that meditation going back home in the class.
Now, wait, is that your home, like a structured foundation here on Earth?
No.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I want
This
you
is
to
the
share
celestial home.
Thank you.
That's what I was going to.
I'm sorry.
I was going to explain that until you just
sorry.
butted in.
I'm sorry.
Have another drink of your wine. Um, so anyway, I'm gonna have a drink of my beer here in a second. The funny thing about this is that when people go through their meditation and they have this beautiful meditation and they go home in this Blue Star meditation, that I ask them when they come back, were you a male or female? And they say, I just was. There was no female, there was no male. They just were.
Because it's all oneness. I think they just felt the energies of it, the blissfulness of it. It's
absolutely.
It wasn't gender related whatsoever.
Absolutely not.
Even energetically, it wasn't gender related.
Nope, no gender relation there. There's nothing. There's the whole concept is that when you just are, your energy, your pure energy, and at that point when you're pure energy, there's no male, there's no female. Our essence inside of us are, we have to label it as a goddess or a god within us. And I truly don't believe that there is such a thing as that of our essence being either female or male. We always say, we talk about that as your essence is very strong. The warrior of Cindy came out and everything else and that. But it doesn't mean that it was a female warrior. It doesn't mean it was a male warrior or anything aspect. It was your essence that came out. I see her as this beautiful female and that, but that's because that's how I see her. That's my envisioning that I use in the physical world to see what this essence really looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you have to say about that?
I think it's great. Yes, and the whole thing about home, capital H, is just that. It's about, visiting where we come from. Again, we're all one. It's all one. And, thing is that what I'm understanding and feeling and believing myself is that, when we hear God, we always want to make it a male gender, and that's okay. But for me personally, I feel and understand that it's both, because if we're all oneness anyways, then the God is a representative of the higher source, or of a place, let's just say home, that we come from. And to me, my vision personally is this big, huge ball of beautiful white glowing light. I don't know why. That's what I always see.
Yep.
And so with that being said, why isn't it then, God and goddess, or masculine, feminine energies of this oneness, of this God, so in other words, God is both.
Right.
And I think we should, try to, make that more, for people to be more aware of, let's make it both. Let's not make it a gender. But I know, for millennials, it's been, of the male, aspect, and that's okay. I'm just saying maybe we should also remember that, there is another side to everything.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. Is that we have to be open about some of these things that are coming out and what we're seeing and everything, because it's not black and white anymore. And things that we see in it isn't always true. Mm-hmm. I mean, my eyes have been open on this trip here. Seeing different people and everything else, and teaching different places and that. My eyes have been open so much to the idea of excuses. And I find this excuses very interesting, is that I did an event in California, and I heard this lady say to another lady, it's like, well, it wasn't meant to be. I guess it is what it is. It wasn't meant to be. It wasn't this. It wasn't that. And I had this really feeling that she missed out on something. She really did miss out on something. It was her own self-worth that she lost out and missed out. And it makes me sad because, it's like, well, I didn't make it to the Blue Star class, and I heard this before too. I didn't make it to the Blue Star. It must be what it is. It is what it is. I guess it wasn't meant to be. I'll do the next one. And I told everybody, this may be the last class I teach in Phoenix, Arizona, a Blue Star class. I may not teach this class, and there's a whole bunch of new classes coming up. So if you think it is what it is and it wasn't meant to be and everything else, maybe it's your own self-worth that didn't allow you to be there. Maybe you could have made it there, there's missed opportunities all the time, and we just have to know where our priorities are. And when we set our priorities past beyond our own benefits, and that we're doing something for somebody else all the other time,
Right.
not for your own self. I mean, this weekend class, the Blue Star class, was unbelievable. Everybody that was there has sent me a message about how their life has changed and how they're changing and everything else. I got to meet a lady that channels Theo. This lady is the one that actually started Abraham Hicks in her work in channeling. And I got to meet her. I got to give her a hug. I got to look her right in the eyes and say hello. It was amazing, you know. I felt that. She looked at me and she just knew that I channeled someone that it just made my heart fall. And it's like, wow, you know. People miss out on this. I mean, they got to my class on Saturday, got to see her and see her husband and everything, Marcus, and that. That's just amazing. These amazing people and everything. And that's going to be in their minds forever, that they met this wonderful lady, you know, who she said too is that she may not be through Phoenix, Arizona again for a while. Wow, what an amazing concept that we get to meet these wonderful people out there. But guess what? Some people miss out because of their priorities, and miss out on not coming to the class or being in the class and everything else and doing the things that they should be doing because of their priorities. They put aside their priorities of what they really want to do in life and do it for somebody else and miss out. It's a quite priority thing. It is, and it's like I feel sorry for some of my friends and that didn't get to come to the class because it was an amazing class.
Right.
So that's my feeling. It's just the cliche thing is over with for me.
Right. Well, and don't take it for granted too. Like you were kind of saying, is oh well, it is what it was, or is what it is, and I'll do it next time. But like you said, maybe there won't be a next time. So try not to miss all your opportunities out there. Try to see what you can do to make it happen. I mean, obviously there are some real life stuff that will keep you bound from doing so. But gosh darn, if you can figure it out, do it. Even if you took one of the days out of the 2 days, just to get something out of it, because you will get something out of it, even if you went to the one class.
Well, no, and I'm not just talking about my class. I'm talking about
right. No, I get that.
There, yeah. There's so much out there that
absolutely.
I missed out, and I thought about this myself. Is that I will never forget, and I think you were part of it, talking to me about it. Is that Greg Braden was in town, and he was going to be at this church, and it wasn't that expensive to go see him and everything else. It was the Unity Church, and you're the one that brought it up to me and said, "Hey, Greg Braden's in town and everything else." I said, "Well, next time he comes around, I'll go see him." The next time he came around, he was twice as much money.
Wow!
And I'm like, okay, missed opportunity. What did I do? What did I do that day? I helped somebody. I went and did something for somebody else instead of doing that for myself. That was the whole thing, is that I set aside something that I wanted to do so I could go help somebody, which is not a bad thing. I'm not saying that's bad, but excuses, Mercury retrograde. That is one of the big spiritual excuses I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah, right.
Sorry, I can't do that because it's Mercury retrograde. Sorry, I can't do this because it's Mercury retrograde. It must be Mercury retrograde that's doing this to me. It's Mercury retrograde that's doing this. Is Mercury in retrograde right now? Blah, 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 blah. Enough is enough. So, yeah, I'm tired of the cliches and the excuses and that is, it's not what it is what it is. It's not because, it's, this, that, and the other thing. It's because of what's inside of us. We have to really take a look at what's inside of us and what we really want in this life. Mm-hmm. And if this is what we really want, it's gonna be there.
Well, exactly. Just like that old saying, we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, so live today, right?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Because maybe that person, place, or thing won't be there tomorrow, or you yourself. Exactly. So don't miss out on opportunities.
Right. It's the whole idea that it's like. People take things for granted, and it's like, well, I'm just going to take this for granted because it'll come back around. I'm sure it will. No, I've done that way too often. I've done that with people. I've done it with my life and everything else and different things that I don't take anything for granted anymore. You know, it's like, you know, it may be the last time you see somebody. You give them a hug, you know, or tell them goodbye or something like that. Give them a big hug or kiss or whatever, and that it may be the last time you see them. You take for granted that, and you know, I don't like that. I really, being in Idaho and being away from my friends and loved ones and everything else, and working up there, it's kind of made me see some things that, not that I don't want to see, it's just me seeing things that is right in front of me now. And it makes me kind of go, okay, I get it. You know, I'll never forget to talk to Cynthia Dunn in California and that before I got here, Phoenix. And she says to me, she says, I'm changing. She's changing. She's talking about herself and that she's changing. She decided one day that she says, you know, if I want to be happy, I'm going to be happy. I just decided I'm going to be happy. And she says, I worked on that for almost a week of saying, I'm just going to be happy today. She says it changed her whole outlook on things and changed who she is. She's always a happy, loving person anyway, but it did. It changed her, and she's happy who she is, and I'm happy who she is too. That so.
Oh, of course.
It's like we have choices in life to what we do, you know. And she chose to be happy, and that's what she wants to be. And she's a happy person. I always see her as a happy person anyway.
She typically is.
Yeah.
But good for her, you know, even if it's just for herself, you know, because we all need to remember our happy feet, you know, within ourselves.
I like the Happy Feet. That's actually a funny show, too, to watch. I enjoy that a lot.
You know, just to reflect for just a moment, Rod, that, you know, you're talking about missed opportunities and, you know, missing this and that. So reflecting back to your class that you had this past weekend, the Blue Star and the, you know, Alice Bailey's 7 Rays, is that each color represents a year that it came into manifestation and what the meaning of it is. So, for example, blue came out, I think, in 15 something, if I remember right. But it's about love and wisdom, love and wisdom, the blue color. So my point is here is that the red and the purple came out, but they went away. So, you know, those were missed opportunities. But people who were born or who lived those years that they were in manifestation, you know, lucky for them. But guess what? It's not in anymore. And with that also being said, is that what's beautiful and crazy all at the same time, it really is that orange is getting ready to come into manifestation. And I find it just very fascinating, and I love sharing this in the, you know, in your Blue Star classes or my color classes, that this orange is about ready, you know, to open up. And, you know, energy precedes itself. I think it's already in process.
Yeah, what does orange mean again?
Yes, so orange is harmony through conflict.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yes, harmony through conflict. And here's the thing: is that all the other ones that are that are open right now or within us right now are like, you know, the 1500s, the 1600s, the 1700s. This one, the orange one, it is the only one so far that I know of is actually going to open up and be in manifestation in 2025.
In our lifetime.
In our lifetime.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I know.
It's incredible. And think about it. It's incredible. Look at our world today right now.
Oh,
it's just
absolutely.
like it's right in sync.
Right.
So, man, Alice Bailey was right on schedule with that. She rocks it, man.
Yes, she does. Yeah.
So I just
there's
wanted
a
to
whole
share that.
story that goes with it. We're not going to share it here because we shared it in the classes. You share it in your class, and I share it in my class, and that. And if you want the whole story, you gotta come to that class because
Yes,
it's
definitely.
a pretty amazing story of what happens during the manifestation of this period in time. That and it's like an aha moment. And I really believe that. I mean, it's an aha moment when people stop and look at where orange is right now and where it's going to go to. Mm-hmm. It fits. Everything fits. That's why I said before the last election, I knew who was going to be president because the seven rays of light.
There you go.
Just a hint. I'll give you a hint on that. Some chaos
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that going on. But it's pretty cool. It's like it. If you take a look at all the things that happen in this world and you can figure out things without being overly intuitive. You know, there's signs everywhere. You know, and Alice Bailey's work in that is she's got some great she's about the signs. She's about seeing the things. She's about the planets and alignments and everything. She's got some really great ideas in that too. And the way you presented it, it was pretty amazing.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, the Rainbow Bridge, you know, crossing over. I think I one other thing I wanted to share with you about the seven rays, and I'm glad you brought that back up, is because the red and the purple are out of date right now. I mean, they kind of went away. Mm-hmm. It's interesting. If you went chakra-wise, the purple is our crown and the red is our base.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So, you know, we're just in limbo right now in the sense is that if we don't have a crown or a base, that because those colors went away in that sense, it's kind of a foundation, kind of fascinating to look at that because it is. It's if you look really close to it and say that because in the blue star classes we switch up the chakras. The chakras change.
Right.
So without the base and the crown chakra in that, we still can live. And that's because we're celestial beings. But imagine people that aren't and they don't know how to feel and they become numb to things. And that if their base chakra and their crown chakra shut down, they're not going to know how to feel. It's fascinating.
It is fascinating.
Yeah.
There's so much fascination out there. And there's a lot of crazy out there. And there you go. There's your your crazy harmony and conflict. No, I'm kidding. It's really quite the deal out there. And, you know, we are here to, you know, be a part of it and help make things better, too.
Who else would sit on Valentine's Day and do a podcast in their mother's backyard and cook this beautiful meal besides us and talk about this stuff? This is what I love doing. I mean, this is so much fun. It's like I'm so glad to be back in Phoenix here with you. We cooked this wonderful meal together, and we sat at the podcast equipment, and we decided to talk about deep stuff. Mm-hmm. Is that kind of cool?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I love it. It's just we are who we are. You know. Mm-hmm. You know, for the longest time that I always tell people I'm not a drinker, and I'm not a drinker. I don't smoke, and I don't swear or anything else. And that. But you know, every once in a while I will have a drink. We put ourselves upon a pedestal sometimes and say, "Oh, I'm holier than thou, so I don't drink," and that. So you know, kind of making fun of us having maybe a drink tonight while we're doing a podcast because it's just we don't have to put ourselves on pedestals anymore. You know, we're just who we are.
Oh, absolutely. You know, heck, if Jesus can turn water into wine, we're all okay.
Yes. Why did he turn it into wine anyway? Why couldn't they just have water?
To help calm and numb the pain.
that's how you see it, right?
To bring antioxidants into our body.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. That is funny. No, that was really funny because in Sunday school I actually asked that question: is you know, why do you have to turn into wine? Can't they just had water? I mean, do you have to have wine with your bread and fish?
Well, apparently so. Why not? Why not?
Why not? I get it. I got that. Was it a Merlot that they had, or was it, you know?
It was sacred.
What goes along with fish, you know, what kind of wine?
I don't know, but I think it's pretty cool. If Jesus turned water into wine, and Mary Magdalene's all about the chalice, guess what? You put the wine in the chalice and you can have a drink.
Oh my God.
You got a cup to hold your wine. Hey, the two go together, right?
Okay.
Just like Jesus and Mary Magdalene, they go together.
Try not to picture it. Anyway, so no, it's cool. Yeah, the chalice and the wine. I get it. So Jesus is the wine.
Cup.
Yes, and Mary was the chalice. So we have the wine and the. Yeah. Anyway.
I was saying it like you put the wine in the cup.
Oh, I got it.
And you drink it all up.
Like the lime and the coconut.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
gosh.
thought that was really clever what I just came
No,
up
I
with.
think it's very clever too. That I was just trying to get my piece of chocolate in my mouth.
Oh,
Anyway,
okay. Yeah. So speaking of the Magdalene, I I am on this passionate role, and I know I mentioned it, a year ago when we were doing the Sacred Feminine, and being in your class and helping out on this past weekend, I had my hour of power, my
our power.
yes, my power of hour and hour of power. Rod, I just love talking about the sacred feminine and the feminine energies that are out there and the golden age. And I found what was fascinating too is that so this year is a 2 year, right? And 2 + 1 + 8 is 13, right? No, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I meant 12. And
I have no idea what you're counting.
I know, wait. 2, wait, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11. Yeah, it's 11. So it's 2. Sorry. Anyways, I know he's looking at me crazy. I'm not thinking straight. I'm terrible at math half the time.
I know, it's
Anyway,
awesome.
so it's a 2 year,
Right.
or a master year, 11. So if you let's look at this year as more of a master year because of the vibrations out there are increasing, and so I say let's go for the 11 as the master. And with that being said, it's the polar opposites. It's your yin and your yang. Your
Right.
your black and your white. Your day and your dark, and things like that. Well, in color wise, it's black and white, and there's two colors together, I always feel like there's always a third color and I always call it the accent color.
Okay.
And so I kept seeing and feeling and hearing, within myself, pink, 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 pink. I'm like, wow, okay, well that sounds pretty cool, unconditional love. Pink represents unconditional love. It's also the softer part of the heart chakra, right?
Yep.
You have the green and the pink. But I also was getting another color, which was really crazy and awesome. I was getting gold.
Wow.
Yeah, gold. So gold is typically, okay, two things. One, if you're talking metal, it's the masculine,
Right.
right? Because copper and silver is the feminine. But on color, as far as realms go, gold is pretty high up on the
Right.
the dimensions and the realms of you when you're going up the chakras and what have you. Gold is pretty high up there, close to the white. So I'm thinking, wow, okay, so I'm seeing pink and gold, and how beautiful is that? We're in a golden age. But honestly, I drive to work down Central, and there's this billboard that I pass every day, Monday through Friday, and it's, this billboard of this jewelry. And actually, there's two. Actually, there's one on Dunlap, one on Central. And I kept looking at it, and I'm like, oh, it's kind of pretty, the rings and the jewelry on the billboard. Blah, blah. And it was like I had a V8 juice hit me, on the head one morning going, OMG, oh my gosh, there it is. There it is. The pink and the gold is rose gold. And that
Rose
is
gold.
it's a huge popular metal right now.
Well, it is.
And it's perfect because you have the softer side, the pink, the unconditional love. You have the power of the gold. These are high vibrations, but yet on a beautiful, subtle, loving harmony level. So you have your black and your white, your pillars, your polar opposites, but yet you have your pinks and your gold. And so I find that very fascinating that that's the metal right now too. And it didn't even occur to me,
Right.
So that to me this year, this master year or 2 year, which is also duality and harmony, balance,
Yep,
right? It's
yep.
perfect. So that's where we're coming in with the pink and the gold is bringing harmony together with the black and the white, which brings harmony together because it's a balance. And so I just find it fascinating. So also when I was doing some research on some more Alice Bailey information, I ran across this symbols. And going back to the rays, the blue ray is, again, of love wisdom, which
Right.
represents the feminine side. And in the picture of that one, it had a chalice in gold and a pink rose sitting at the
Wow.
bottom of the chalice. I'm like, oh my goodness, there it is. There's your love wisdom, which represents, the feminine, which also philosophy. The word philosophy is love wisdom. Love wisdom is philosophy. It's the same. It's the same word. So I find that fascinating that love wisdom is of the sacred feminine, or is of the feminine in the triangle, and then yet you got the chalice, the gold, beautiful gold chalice, and the pink rose, and they all go together. It's like synchronicity, synchronicity. I'm like, oh my goodness, I love it.
Well, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So that's where we're at right now. This love wisdom, this pink gold, this rose gold. It's all rose. I like that rose gold actually because of the pink
Right.
rose. It all goes hand in hand with this feminine energy that's coming through. It's
Right.
it's about raising the vibration of her.
So, what is the feminine movement in a nutshell? I mean, is it everybody getting together and marching against mankind or anything like that, or what is the feminine movement?
Well, no, not in my house.
Not in my house.
No. And that's fine for those out there, but no. What I speak of is of a vibration, is of energy. It's a feminine energy. We have the masculine energy, and this is the feminine energy. She is coming through. I believe so strong, and that's why people are feeling things. Even men are feeling sensitive these days, and they're probably going scratching their head, going, "What the heck happened to me? I was a man yesterday. Now today, I'm not quite sure what I am." But seriously, she is part of this golden age. She is the second coming, as far as I'm concerned. And when I say she, I'm just talking the feminine energies, and
Right.
I
Right.
do address her as she. She's beautiful. She's powerful. She's loving. She's nurturing. She's everything. She's everything that was taken away millennia ago,
Oh,
which goes back to what I feel and believe, at least the Mary Magdalene and probably the women before her, actually.
right.
There's been a lot of women who have done fabulous, beautiful work back in the days and still today
Right.
that aren't being recognized. And that's all on human level, but still there's also the spiritual sacred level and energetic level with that being said, I feel. And so this energy, this feminine movement is about this energy that's flowing through to help cleanse and clear and balance, bring the harmony through all this conflict that's out there. The conflict is because there's too much of one side and not so much of the other side. It needs to be more balanced.
I like that. I
Yeah.
really do like that.
Thank you.
But it is. I mean, there's a balance there. But I'm not trying to be the whatever they call it, the mean guy or whatever else. But if we believe that there's no such thing as male or female in the aspect of that, but yet we still say that there's a feminine movement in a woman.
Right, we address it that way.
How do we look past that or look at that without going, hey, we're being hypocritical or anything else?
Mhm. Well, I believe it works on both the energetic, spiritual level and the physical, human level. In other words, the being and the human being. So, and as far as the human being goes, it goes back to the women who were not allowed to speak their voice, who were not allowed to share their voice and share the word and etc. As far as the spiritual energy level, yes, I said earlier, God is both male, female energies. Okay, so still, it's always been the him side, the he side, and so we're trying to bring the she side in, even though it's all one, but you still got to bring that balance of the energy of it up to balance.
Right. So, I mean, is there even actually a word for a he, she? I mean, to be
Oneness.
Oneness. Okay. So we use oneness instead of a feminine movement. What if it's a oneness movement?
Okay, we could probably roll with that.
Well, I'm just asking. I mean, it's just, it's like, you get people out there asking that question. It's like, well, if you don't believe that there's, man and women that in that spiritual sense, in that, what is it?
But if you are heavy on one side, and it has been for, centuries, you have to bring up the other side to make it harmony, to make it a oneness, though.
Right. No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to get to the point where it's going to be a prejudice. It's like calling somebody, a woman or a lady or whatever. and they're not. It's going to become a prejudice of that when people believe that, okay, I'm neither male or female. I am who I am. It's going to be a oneness, and then I like that. I like that how it's put out there, a oneness.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the super me.
Oh, I love my super me.
I love that super me too. I think that's just awesome. It's that oneness of super me.
Right.
I am who I am.
Right.
How do you want to describe me? I'm the tall person with gray hair. It's not. Don't describe me as male or female or anything else. This is oneness that we have. Is that we have to start describing people in a certain sense, and that. Could you describe people in energy? I think would be fascinating if everybody in this world all of a sudden had to describe somebody by their energy and how they perceive it.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll say that we're in a booth together at a restaurant, and I get up to pay for it, and they say, well, where you're sitting? And I'd have to say, well, that goddess energy in the back corner there, the glowing gold person back there, that's who I was with. It's like you have to describe the energy instead of describe the person.
Right.
But they're kind of fun to do with everybody.
Yeah.
Just all of a sudden, how to describe your dog by its energy, and then. No, I don't want to do that.
Right. Right.
But that'd be fun.
Right.
Be fun to try. Yeah. So anyway, we got a lot of stuff going on and everything. You got some really crazy stuff in your life, kind of changing and going through some stuff too, aren't you? Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you raise your eyebrows at me. It's like, yeah, I do. Some of the stuff I don't want to talk about yet, but we got some changes and things going on. So I'm excited about working with Dr. Emil coming up here. I'm excited about working with Moselle and Jamie Clark and you. We got some really great, cool stuff. What is your favorite part? Is it one-on-one with a client or doing group readings? Yeah, I'm looking at you when I said that.
What's my favorite?
Yeah, what's your favorite?
I don't know. I think they're both good.
You think they're both good?
Mm-hmm.
Really? You don't have a favorite?
Do you have a favorite?
Yes, I do.
What is it? Why don't you share yours?
Well, since I have a favorite, I thought you'd have a favorite. Oh, my favorite's always been is actually group readings. Doing getting a bunch of people together and doing cold readings or gallery type readings. I think that's just a blast. I mean, it's fun.
It is fun. I definitely like that a lot.
I get to see energy. I watch energy all day, and I get to see what energy looks like and everything else. So it becomes a challenge when I have no idea who this person is, and you just get to see what they allow you to see.
Mm-hmm.
That is so fascinating. It's so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's different, than the person that and they're coming to see you, and there's just one-on-one, and you've given them readings before, and you sit across from them, and you know the answers to things before they even ask you any questions. So I think it's fascinating. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy the one-on-ones. Oh my gosh, I do. I mean, tomorrow I got 7 of them, so you think I'm going to be resting tomorrow? Ha ha ha! I'm working my butt off tomorrow. So anyway, I don't get me wrong. I love my clients and one-on-one clients and that, but I love a challenge too. I love the challenge of a person where I get to challenge myself and see really deeply what I want to see, and try to see past what people want you to see, because they're going to try that. People try that all the time. It's like, I only want them to see this, and they show it. I want to see past that. I want to see how far I can go with it. So that's my favorite. You don't have a favorite then yet?
Well, I
They can't see you nod your head.
I know. Well, I mean, I do like that a lot. It's fun because there's more of a collaborative.
Right.
So it makes it funner.
Oh, putting a bunch of intuitives together, and then we start playing off each other's energy. We start seeing, we're looking through the same window, looking at different parts and pieces, though. because our experience in life makes us look at different things.
Right.
So I think that's fascinating. Is that I look through a window and I see something, and you see something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that fascinating. And it's like what an amazing thing to do, to be able to do. And you and I play off each other really well, and I love giving reads with you. You're fun.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're still
Well, and
nodding
it's
your
fun
head.
though too that somebody will say something and you're like, oh yeah, that's what I was picking up on too.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. That is. Isn't that great? It's like the validation, instant validation when you have other people with you. It's like, oh, they saw the same thing I did. Oh, how cool is that? So I know we have a sweet little friend that we surprised her last Friday. Her name's Lauren, and she's probably listening to our podcast right now. And she wants us to do a Reiki share before I leave. So we're working on putting together a Reiki share, aren't we? We're gonna have fun with that. You keep nodding your head.
Yeah.
Are you getting tired?
No.
No, you're funny. She's shaking her head. Yeah. Yeah. Speak, Cindy. Yeah. So, yeah, that sweet little girl, she wants us to do a Reiki share. So we're going to probably try to find a place to do a Reiki share. That's going to be a lot of fun, won't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. So we kind of got away from you in that.
I know, just a little bit.
Yeah, what
You
happened?
cut my role of passion about the feminine off.
I did not. For shame.
I do. I'm very passionate. I just go off because I think it's so beautiful and so important, and it's not a hateful, hurtful thing. It's just trying to allow people to be aware of what's out there and embrace it. It's a beautiful thing. She's out there to nurture you and to, love you.
Well, that was the part I was trying to get to about the whole thing about you got some changes coming and everything else. That you're going to start putting together a group of women that believe same as you do, and you guys are just going to start getting out there more and just get together and talk about this and what you can do to help the community.
Right, exactly.
And that's what the beautiful part about this is you're not going after anybody, you're not tearing anybody down.
No.
And that you want to see what you can do to help the community, and that with this type of movement. Friendly words, whatever it is, whatever you can do.
Right.
And I'm with you 100%. I'll sign up anytime to be with you guys in that, because I truly believe, I channeled Jesus Christ. I channeled a bunch of higher avatars and that, and I know what went on. I know what it felt like, and I know what it feels like. And to see what I've seen in the past. I watched you channel Mary Magdalene and everything else, and it just brings tears to my eyes, I'm telling you, too. So.
Oh, she brings tears to my eyes. Oh, my goodness.
So, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, it's like we got some other animals running through the backyard here. It's kind of crazy.
Yes, so anyways, I think this is something super beautiful, this whole, feminine thing. And, it's not anything negative. It's just, it's a wave of energy, and men are feeling it too, and,
well, we all are.
absolutely.
It's just
I think that's part of, you brought up a little bit ago, the super me.
right.
The super me that I came up with when I was on the mountain one day hiking it is, we're always working on our, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. I'm thinking, I want to switch that around. Instead of having spiritual at the end of my saying, when I say physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, I'm going to put it at the beginning. So how can I do that by putting it at the beginning, having spiritual, physical, mental, emotional? And I'm like, how can I, do that? What can I do with it? What can I do to play on? And that's how I came up with Super Me.
Right.
Super Me. So what it is the capital S is spiritual, and then U, and then P is the physical, and then ER, and then me is the mental and the emotional. So I've trademarked it, so no one else can use it.
That's really good.
Just so y'all know. So Super Me is really all about ourselves. It's about working on our spiritual, physical, mental, emotional self bodies, and to raise our own vibration. And again, this feminine energies is here to help raise that vibration, because we're so off balance in a lot of ways, that she's here to help bring that to fruition for you. At least, to help raise it and bring it to some sort of fruition.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
We're always on a quest. We're always, going to be, coming back for more and learning more. But it's definitely to help raise a vibration for now. Absolutely.
Wow.
Within yourself.
With ourselves, yeah.
And to heal. That's all,
Right.
when I say raise a vibration, it's also meaning that you're healing yourself,
Right. This is amazing, Cindy. I mean, all the stuff that we're doing and everything else, and the stuff that you're doing, and that this is some amazing stuff, and I'm really excited about this. And is there an email if somebody wants to email you about this and ask you some questions and that about your movement?
Sure. It's Cindy Got Moon. Let me explain that and spell it.
Okay.
So it's CYNDEEGOTMOON at yahoo.com. So here's the thing. Of course, it sounds like it's a play off or play on, whatever they call that. Got milk, got sand, etc. So it's Cindy Got Moon. Actually, what it really means is Cynthia is, means goddess of the moon. So actually, Got is goddess of the. So GOT is goddess of the. So actually, it's Cindy or Cynthia, goddess of the moon. But anyways, in short, it's Cindy Got Moon. Isn't that cute? Yes, it's cute. I love it.
I think
that's pretty
it's
clever. I came up with
clever.
that. Yeah,
That is clever.
that's what I thought
Especially
too.
for you, that's pretty clever.
Oh, I have moments. They're so cool and clever.
So good. So they can email you and get some more information about your beautiful little movement. And I'm excited about that because this beautiful movement that you have going on is going to be important to a lot of people.
It really is. And I'm here to help share and spread this. I have this, again, a huge passion for it. And I have this love that radiates from my heart chest. And she is just, she just wants to help and send love and to help with this movement. There's just something that's so within me and around me that is pushing the envelope of this. And please help me out. Anybody out there, how can I get this out there? I know if you ever meet me, you'll find this, beautiful, loving energy around me, and you're going to feel wonderful. But I want to help get it out there, know.
Right, absolutely.
So my idea, I've shared this with Rod, if I could just stand in front of a big audience of people and just let the love radiate out of my heart chakra area, my chest, and just for everybody to feel that, I think they would just have a beautiful healing.
Oh,
and
I agree with
that's
that.
my vision personally, is just stand in front of people and just allow that beautiful love to flow.
Yeah, you do it already for many people already.
Right.
So, well, I'm going to have to call it a good night here. It's coming up on our hour here.
Okay.
So we're gonna have to,
It was lovely. Thank you,
Well,
thank
I
you,
love
thank you.
this.
Thank you all out there.
We're going to do this again before I leave. I know we are. We have to. It's just a beautiful thing. It's funny is that I have an email address too, but mine everybody makes fun of because it sounds like Rodley Man instead of Rod Lyman.
That's true.
It's like, yes, everything that's Rodley Man, but it's Rod Lyman, az@gmail.com. You can email me and ask me any questions you want about what's going on with me. And you're going to be seeing Cindy and I doing some pretty crazy stuff and pretty cool stuff coming up here. It's always a pleasure to come back to Phoenix and be with you and have all the fun we have and share all this stuff. Now, if you guys want to sponsor us, we'd love to have sponsors and that to help us pay for these and do a lot more of these. And just let us know, help us out and everything else. You got both of our emails if you want to talk to us in that aspect too. Look us up anywhere, the Rod and Cindy Podcast. We're on Facebook. Follow us on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Oh my gosh, we love our Instagram. It's RC Podcast. That's our handle, RC Podcast. And you love it too. You love some of the stuff that we share, and that we'd love to follow you too back. You guys have a great, great night. It's a cooling off here in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm about ready to call tonight. How about you, hon?
Yeah, me too. Thank you all so very much, and thank you for listening to what I have to say and want to share. Please spread the word, and it's a beautiful thing out there, and you're beautiful, and I'm beautiful, and you're beautiful. We're all beautiful.
Yep.
It's a beautiful morning. Oh, night.
Night.
Okay.
It's a night now.
Love y'all.
Love
Thank
y'all.
you.
Yep. Like I always say, that you're loved and I am blessed. Have a good night.